Johnny Dang is facing major backlash, and rappers aren't staying quiet anymore. Some are even pulling his grills out of their mouths to show they're done with him. Sauce Walka made it clear he feels played and isn't willing to deal with it anymore. The situation is heating up fast, and it looks like more artists are starting to speak out and distance themselves.
Yeah, I'm gonna take these side of me.
Kodak Black didn't hold back at all. He made it very clear how he feels, and it wasn't good. With his reaction, the situation got even more intense, showing that this isn't just one artist speaking out. More rappers are starting to step forward, and the drama around Johnny Dang is quickly getting bigger.
I don't want to put some smile in my mind. I don't want no free. You wanted to give me some free that was way smaller than this. I don't want no free.
This wasn't just about a free grill being too small. Sauce Walka was calling out something much bigger. He was saying that Johnny Dang treated out-of-town celebrities better, giving them bigger diamonds, better deals, and more attention. Meanwhile, Sauce Walka, who had supported Dang in Houston for nearly 20 years, felt like he was being offered less. After all the loyalty and money he put in, he felt disrespected and taken advantage of.
You wanted to give me some free that was way smaller than this. I don't want no free. I want my money, and I want to go over the top, best of the best, biggest of the biggest, make it work.
The real controversy wasn't about the size of a grill. It went much deeper. Sauce Walka accused Johnny Dang of something serious, allegedly using lab-grown CVD diamonds and custom pieces that were being sold as natural, high-grade stones. The price difference between the two is massive. Natural diamonds can cost thousands per carat, while lab-grown versions are far cheaper. Sauce Walka claimed he had been paying premium prices for jewelry that didn't match its value, calling it a straight finesse. Feeling betrayed after nearly 2 decades of loyalty, he didn't just speak out. He made a statement. He went to Jose Mata, a former jeweler from Dang's shop, and commissioned a brand new $1 million permanent diamond grill. Then, on camera, he removed his old Johnny Dang grills and replaced them, saying he was setting a new standard for Texas. This feud had been building for years. Back in 2024, it was about respect and loyalty, but by 2026, the accusations had escalated to the authenticity of the diamonds themselves. Meanwhile, Kodak Black also added fuel to the fire, as an older video resurfaced showing him criticizing a $50,000 custom grill Dang had made for him, pushing the controversy even further into the spotlight.
Hey, big kid. Yeah, I'm gonna take these side of me and go back wall.
Kodak Black didn't hold back when he spoke on his experience with Johnny Dang. He said the grill simply didn't fit right, calling it trash, explaining that his bite fell off and that the pieces were too big and bulky to wear comfortably every day. After spending $50,000, he made it clear he wasn't using them and even said he wanted his old grills back. Unlike Sauce Walka, Kodak wasn't accusing Dang of using questionable diamonds. His issue was with the craftsmanship itself. But despite their different complaints, both situations pointed to the same outcome: artists spending serious money with one of hip-hop's most famous jewelers and walking away disappointed. Then the story took an even more serious turn. A third voice entered the conversation: Jose Mata, also known as Plug Geo. This wasn't just another client speaking out. This was someone who had worked inside Dang's operation, directly involved in the production process. Having seen how the pieces were made and what went into them, his words carried far more weight. So when he stepped in front of camera in March 2026 and began sharing his claims, it hit differently, because this time, the allegations were coming from the inside.
There'd be times where I would ask him and beg him, be like, "Hey, bro, look, I made you $9 million in a year. Just give me 4% commission."
Jose Mata alleged that during his time working under Johnny Dang, he helped generate nearly $9 million in revenue for the business in a single year. Despite that, he claimed he was only receiving a 2% commission, half of the 4% he believed he deserved, while earning just $10 an hour. According to him, when he pushed for better pay that reflected his contribution, the response was minimal, an offer to increase his hourly rate by only $2. For someone who said he played a major role in bringing in millions, he framed it as a clear sign of being undervalued and overlooked.
An hour.
He said, oh, I'm gonna give you a $2 raise. I only get paid $10 an hour because I get paid 2% commission every month. What the f is a $2 raise gonna do for me and my kids, bro?
The pay issue was real, and it clearly showed why Jose Mata eventually decided to leave. But the accusation that truly sent the internet into a frenzy had nothing to do with money. It was about what was happening to the diamonds being used in the jewelry sold to clients by Johnny Dang.
Everybody who's watching, if you got anything from Johnny, check because that boy be putting that C in y'all.
He was specifically talking about CVD diamonds, lab-grown stones, allegedly being placed into custom pieces that were priced and presented as natural VVS diamonds. According to Jose Mata, some clients had already returned with their jewelry after getting it tested elsewhere, only to be told the stones were lab-grown instead of natural. He claimed he didn't have answers for them and would direct those clients to Johnny Dang, saying those production decisions were made far above his level.
Great.
And I've had several clients who come in and they'll be like, bro, why my shit tested CVD? Well, I don't fucking know. Y'all gotta ask Johnny, bro. That's Johnny's production.
That moment marked the most explosive part of Jose Mata's statement. He wasn't speaking in vague terms. He described specific clients returning with specific pieces that had reportedly failed independent diamond testing, and he pointed the blame directly at the top, Johnny Dang. By the time he went public, Plug Geo had already left Dang's shop and launched his own competing jewelry business, giving Dang's team a clear angle to push back, arguing that a former employee starting a rival brand had every motive to discredit his old boss. That narrative gained even more traction when Sauce Walka went straight to Plug Geo for a new $1 million grill. Still, none of that slowed the story down. The combination of an insider's claims and a high-profile client's accusations created a wave across hip-hop media that spread instantly. Recap videos flooded the internet, comment sections exploded, and fans began tagging artists known to have worked with Dang, demanding answers. The reason this story hit so hard wasn't just about who was involved. It was because the concern itself was already real within the industry. Lab-grown diamonds had become cheaper and more accessible, creating pressure across the jewelry market. Stones that are chemically identical to natural diamonds could now be produced in weeks at a fraction of the cost, making substitution both tempting and nearly impossible to detect with the naked eye. Plug Joe's claims tapped directly into that long-standing concern. What made things even more complicated for Dang was that he had already spoken publicly about this issue months earlier. In a September 2025 interview with KHOU 11, he acknowledged how disruptive lab-grown diamonds had become, even admitting that most consumers couldn't visually tell the difference and that the shift was hurting his natural diamond inventory. Now, those same realities were being used to question his own business practices. Whether proven or not, the timing couldn't have been worse. And as the diamond controversy unfolded, another battle was already brewing in the background, one centered on money, not materials. Before these allegations surfaced, Dang had been publicly calling out rappers for unpaid jewelry tabs. In early January 2026, he posted a series of direct-to-camera videos, naming artists he claimed had taken custom pieces without settling their balances. These weren't subtle hints or quiet complaints. He spoke openly and directly, escalating a financial dispute that was already putting him in the spotlight even before the diamond accusations took over.
Where my motherfucking money, man? I need my money. Where the money at? Auto rapper too. Sean Skinton, Greasy Kid. I need my motherfucking money, man. Yeah.
Johnny Dang took the situation public in a major way, calling out artists like Sean Kingston and Rich the Kid, accusing them of receiving custom pieces without fully paying their debts. The tone of his videos was raw and unfiltered. This wasn't a polished statement, but a direct response from someone who felt he had delivered value and wasn't paid in return. He went even further, claiming that multiple artists collectively owed him over $6.7 million, with names like Burna Boy, Justin Bieber, Central C, and Lil Baby reportedly tied to that figure. In one case, he alleged that Burna Boy refused a $350,000 upfront payment for a custom watch, leading him to reject the deal entirely and publicly question the authenticity of any similar piece obtained elsewhere. This wasn't Dang's first time dealing with disputes. Past legal issues, including a 2015 case involving our Capital Group and a 2025 lawsuit filed by Crezio Wong, stayed relatively low-key. But in 2026, he chose a completely different approach. Instead of handling things quietly, he brought the conflict into the spotlight, even releasing a diss track aimed at artists who allegedly owed him money. The move was bold and strategic, using the very culture he had been part of for decades to apply pressure. The video spread rapidly across platforms, marking a rare moment where a jeweler stepped into the rap arena to call out his own clients. At its core, the situation exposed how much of the high-end jewelry business operates on trust. Expensive custom pieces, grills, chains, watches worth hundreds of thousands, were often handed over before full payment was secured. When that trust broke, there was no easy fallback, and public callouts became the consequence. By the time allegations from Sauce Walka and Jose Mata surfaced in March 2026, Dang was already dealing with financial disputes, now facing a second battle over the authenticity of his diamonds. Both issues unfolded in real time, under public scrutiny, drawing massive attention across the hip-hop world. The ripple effect was immediate. Artists like Chief Keef began testing their own jewelry, even visiting stores like K Jewelers to verify pieces purchased from Dang. While his items passed standard diamond tests, the bigger story was the act itself, public verification instead of private trust. Meanwhile, Lil Durk added his voice with a warning to the culture, urging buyers to be more careful and questioning the authenticity of high-priced jewelry across the market. This sparked a wider trend, with fans and artists alike testing their pieces and sharing results online, fueling weeks of debate. Even as the controversy grew, Dang's business didn't stop, but the unquestioned trust he built over decades clearly took a hit. And through it all, he remained vocal. Instead of stepping back, Johnny Dang responded directly, releasing a series of Instagram videos addressing the allegations head-on. There was no script, no PR filter, just a direct, emotional response as he defended his name and his empire in real time.